So as far as the Disney collections go, this was always one of my favorites as a kid. And I feel like compared to some of the bigger titles like Pocahontas, Lion King, Aladdin, etc., it didn't really get as much recognition as those, but nevertheless, it was always one of my favorites. Alright, so Beauty and the Beast is the live adaptation of the Disney movie from 1991, Beauty and the Beast, and it basically follows the same premise, and I'm pretty sure most people have seen it, but for the few who haven't, it's basically the story of this rich prince who has an asshole heart, and because of it, he gets cursed and he's transformed into a beast, and all the servants in his castle are transformed into household items, and he's cursed to live this way forever until he finds true love. And that's when the other main character, Belle, comes in, because she's this smart bookworm girl in a time that's really frowned upon. And through a whole bunch of different events, they end up together and she breaks the curse. So like I said in the beginning, this was always one of my favorite Disney movies. So to see it on the big screen in a live adaptation, I was actually kind of nervous because I thought they would deviate from the original story, but surprisingly they didn't. The movie stayed very close to the cartoon, and I really enjoyed that. So they got Emma Watson playing Belle, and I think she does a really good job. Now, Belle was always one of my favorite Disney characters. As far as looks, yes, I was attracted to a lot of those Disney characters, and Belle was one of my favorite. But I think that she was beautiful in this movie, but she wasn't as pretty as I would have liked to see Belle, but that's just a personal side note. But outside of that, I think she really did a great job playing Belle. She has a beautiful voice when she sings, and she fit the role, so I was proud of that. The Beast is played by Dan Stevens, and I mean, he's the Beast 98% of the movie, so really you can't really say much about him outside of the CGI aspect that he had to do, because he was basically a voice actor for a CGI character, and the Beast CGI was kind of hit and miss. At times he looked really great, and then at times it looked like they didn't quite finish everything, if that makes sense. LeFou was played by Josh Gad, and I think he did a wonderful job as well. He really brought the cartoon character to the big screen and adapted to it really well, and it just came across like the LeFou of old. So good job, Josh. Now let's talk about my boy Gaston. I always liked Gaston's character. He was over the top. He reminded me of a 90s wrestler with the over the top, larger than life personality. He was so full of himself. And Luke Evans did wonderful bringing that to the screen. It's this one scene where he's talking to the mirror, and you think he's practicing his lines to try to woo Belle, but he's talking about himself, and he's like, someone interrupts him, and he's like, I'll be back to you. I'm not finished with you yet. And I was like, man, that's just perfect. And he had a great singing voice as well. His song was always my second favorite in the movie. And to see it actually performed and executed like the cartoon, it just really brought the nostalgia aspect to an all-time high for me. Now, as far as the soundtrack for this movie, they stuck to the ones that were in the original movie, of course, and I'm glad they did. And they were all executed almost identically to the cartoon. They did add in a couple of more new songs to the movie, which I don't really have a problem with, except for this one time. If you've seen the cartoon, you remember the part when Belle looks in the magic mirror to see what's going on with her dad, and she sees her dad's in trouble, and she asks the Beast to let her leave. And he's like, go be with your dad. And then she rides off, and he thinks that he's lost his love. So like he lets out like this really deep, painful roar. And it's really like emotional. They took that part out and added in a song, and that just irked me. And now speaking about things I didn't like, outside of the Beast CGI hitting and missing, another part I didn't like was they took out the emotional things, like I just said about the roar when he leaves. And there was another one when he tries to have dinner with Belle, and she's like, no, I don't want to eat. In the cartoon, he does this really aggressive roar again where he slams all the food into the wall and the dishes. He's like, well, you can starve. And I was looking for that part, and they took it out, and I was like, shoot me now. And now for a final note, my absolute favorite character in this movie is someone that every time I talk to somebody, they never recognized him. The coat hanger. When I was a kid, first time I watched Beauty and the Beast, I instantly noticed the coat hanger. I mean, that guy did everything. He cooked. He set the table. He cut the Beast's hair, combed it. He bathed him. He played the violin at dinner. And then when Gaston and the crew broke into the house, he was the first one throwing hands. So at the end, when they showed everybody changing back, they never showed my coat hanger changing back. And I was like, what the fuck? So in this movie, spoiler alert, they show him changing back. And I was like, bam, there we go. And everybody I talk to about this, they like the coat hanger. But then after I bring up how much he does, they always come back and say, yeah, he did do a lot. So to sum everything up, the live adaptation of Beauty and the Beast was a great movie. The cast did a wonderful job. The pacing of the movie was the exact same as the pacing of the cartoon. The songs were spot on. They did cut out a couple of emotional parts, but if you're not a diehard fan like me, you probably wouldn't notice it. So with all that being said, I gotta give this movie legendary. Alright, so that's it for this one, folks. So for the comment combo of the day, let me know what you thought about the Beauty and the Beast live adaptation. Do you like the cartoon better, or do you like the real thing? Whatever you think, comment below and let me know. Now, as always, if you liked this video and you thought it rocked, like, comment, and subscribe to see more from me, Mike Proc. Later.